Okay, so we're learning about the different forms of quadratic equations. So the first kind that we had learned was standard form, and then we learned our factored form. This is the next form. It's called vertex form. The nice thing about vertex form is that it tells you your vertex right in the equation. Okay, so this is the way that your vertex form looks right here, this piece right here. And the HK is your vertex. So the piece that's being subtracted from the x, okay, that's the x part of your vertex. And if you notice, it's being subtracted. So that means that anytime we look at that h, we have to change the sign, okay? And the k, the thing that's being added at the end, is always the y portion of your vertex, and this one is being added, so we do not have to change the sign. So it's very simple. By the way, you also can tell whether your graph opens up or down based on the fact that the a is the same just like standard form. So if you look at this, this is already in vertex form. What number is in front of your parentheses here? It is a 1. It's a positive 1. So you know that a is 1, which means that this is opening up, okay? And then you're going to look for your h and your k. So the h is always the number that's being added or subtracted from your x, and the k is always the number that's outside of the parentheses on the end there, okay? So always change the sign of this one, and that comes again from the formula that it's subtract. So for this one, our vertex is -4, okay? And this sign always stays the same, 1. That's our vertex, -4, 1. Very simple, okay? Here's our next equation. Again, we can figure out if this opens up or down by looking at the a. Since you see nothing in front of your parentheses there, again, your a is 1. It's a positive 1, which means it opens up, okay? And then you can look for your h and your k. Your h is always the number that's inside those parentheses with your x. So in this case, it's right here. And we always have to change this sign because that was a minus in the formula. So our vertex here is going to be +3. And then our k is always here on the outside. Well, if you see nothing, that means it's +0. So our y here is 0. So that's our vertex for that one, 3, 0, okay? And then we have this one here. Again, if you look in front of your x squared, you can see your a. A is equal to 1 again, which means this one opens up, okay? Now, you notice that this is just x squared, which is like the same as if it said x minus 0 squared, and then the -9 was on the outside, okay? Because x minus 0 is just x. So this one, my x value for my vertex is 0, okay? And then my y value is -9. Remember, this sign stays the same. That one always changes, but you can't change the sign of 0, so it's just 0, okay? And then this is our last example here. This one we have a little bit of a different a. My a is -5, which means since it's negative, I know it's opening down, okay? And then when I look for my h and my k, I look here and here. Again, we always change our sign of this one, so our x value for the vertex is +5. And our y value for the vertex is 8. That one, the sign stays the same. So now we have all of our vertexes and whether they open up or down. That's the beauty of vertex form.